episode 110 of 15K Plus Random Movie Reviews, the podcast where we take a random movie from Metacritic's all-time movie list. This is Colin.
This is Niall.
And this is our random recap of movies 101 to 109. Another somewhat decade goes past, and we get older and closer to death.
Crankier. Don't forget Crankier.
And Crankier, which is impossible. So, episode 101 was Robocop from 1987. Metascore 70, user score 8.3. And we rated it. Average 3.125 from me and 3.5 from you. So, obviously, good movie, enjoyable. Hasn't aged terribly.
No, weirdly it hasn't. Like the special effects were mostly practical, which really helps it not age. Whereas if it was computer effects from that age or that era, it would have been pretty awful.
Yeah. What scene jumps out in your memory from it?
There's a couple. There's obviously the between the legs shot.
Right.
I can't use the words.
That's fine.
And Ed 209 falling down the stairs. I love the squealing pig noises as he's upside down on the stairs. I just adore that choice.
Yeah. For all the wrong reasons, I like when the guy falls out the window at the end because it just looks so bad. Those crazy long, wacky inflatable arms.
Yeah, they seem to extend out another 5 meters.
Yeah.
It's great.
The one thing I did do after watching this movie was a computer game came out a few years ago of Robocop called Rogue City, and I played it. Did you play it? Have you played it?
I'm waiting for it to get really cheap.
It's really cheap. I think it was cheap-ish a few months ago, and I bought it and I played it and I finished it last week sometime. It's decent enough. It's not crazy. It's a bit...
Yeah, it's one of those AA games, isn't it? Like it's not fully polished, but it's a fun time if you're okay to spend an hour or two every now and then. It's not going to drag you in and keep you there.
But it's very faithful to the elements of the movie. Obviously, the police headquarters, the steel works where you met your fate, and just callbacks and stuff to the movie. And it's fine. But you do have to plod along, and it gets kind of, even when you press your sprint button, you're still going. Yeah. But it's fun if you like the game. Definitely, it's a good.
He doesn't do any parkour on it then.
No parkour, nothing crazy. There's
good.
more gun
I like
types.
that it kept it. He's a plodding tank of a man. Leave it like that.
He is. And you say don't bother watching 2 and 3.
Oh, sweet Jesus, don't. It'll ruin the movies for you. Well, it'll ruin the first one for you. They're garbage. I seen the second one. It's pants. And the third one, I've seen about 5-second clip of it. Yeah.
You don't want to
do that.
Remember that. Well, so I like to go dip into Letterboxd for our human being reviews of our movies and our recap. The least you can give on Letterboxd is a half a star, and there are a bunch of half-star reviews. Shane Wallach said, "Why do people call this film a masterpiece? More like masterpiece of shit." The end shot where Dick Jones falls out of the window looks so fake, it ruins the entire movie. Also, Ed 209 looks terrible. Obvious stop motion is obvious. They should have used CGI. Does Paul Verhoeven not know what a computer is? What a shitty director. This movie sucks. People who like this film are just nostalgic dumbasses who just like seeing shit blow up. I would not buy this film for $1.
Nice callback to the buy for $1, but everything else he said, that is absolute shite. It should have used CGI. What year was this? 1987? No, I don't think so, buddy.
Yeah. Jake Cole gave it 5 stars. He says, whenever I hear people say this is dated, I want to slap the nonsense out of them. A company that profits on privatized public sectors, taking over a bankrupt Detroit in order to pave the way for an ultra-gentrified wealth haven. This shit could have been made yesterday, and I bet the new one won't feel half as relevant the weekend it comes out as this does 27 years later.
Well, in fairness, they did remake this, and it didn't feel half as good.
Yeah, I never watched it.
Yeah, decent cast, decent budget, decent CGI. Just didn't have the soul.
No, somebody says Because this is a retelling of the story of Jesus Christ, it counts as a Christmas movie.
It's an interesting take.
It is. It's to try to make a connections then between the two.
He is risen, I suppose. Yeah, he's risen as
Yeah.
a cyborg death machine.
There's another movie in there somewhere.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, I would. If you weren't born in the 70s or 80s and you haven't watched Robocop, you should watch it. It's a very palpable throwback to those 80s action movies where violence is quite palpable and visceral, but you
It's
also
quite
get a bit
cognizant of the fact that it's not wallowing, but it's almost making violence part of the story, and people's inability to, our ability to just ignore violence around them and accept it. I think that's kind of one of the points of the movie.
Yeah, I think that there's another topic, the theme throughout the movie where the TV advertisements and everything are just so bizarre and stupid, and it's sort of getting quite close to reality these days.
I know. I'd buy that for $1.
I'd buy that for $1.
Certainly not eggs, anyway. What? Oh.
Right? Yeah. So yeah, it's good. It's a lot of 80s movies have lost its plot a little bit over the years, but I was quite happy with this movie being the way it is still.
Yeah, I can't see it ever aging.
No, it's how long ago was 1987? I don't want to know. 30 something years ago now.
It's coming up in 40 years, buddy.
Fucking hell. Let's move on to an even older movie that was released before we were born. Path of Glory, 1957. Metascore of 90. User score of 8.4. You gave it average of 4.5, and I also gave it an average of 4.5. I had never seen it before. Classic Kubrick. You could tell from his direction that he knew what the hell he was doing. Lots of great performances, lots of great cinematography. What else is there to say about it? I love the main characters. I love the three main principal characters and how they interacted with each other and the different sort of dynamics. And
I also love the lads who are being tried and court-martialed. They are fantastic as well. So it's acting masterpieces going on in this.
Yeah,
on many levels.
Yeah, you could put it up there with a lot of war movies, and it would hold its own.
Especially like the going over the top. Some of the scenes shot there are fantastic.
Yeah,
and the continuous shot, panning shot, before he turns back, or heroine, or hero, not heroine.
Yeah, were you on heroin?
Probably. It's just a great piece of cinematography, and it's looked bloody difficult to do.
Yeah, well, from stories, Kubrick is a bloody slave driver and put them through the ringer for doing many, many, many takes, but you get a good result at the end of it all.
You do.
Yeah, very good ending as well with the German lady singing the song.
Kubrick.
The future Miss Kubrick, and a little bit of reality check or some sort of connection to home, and then they're off again to die, basically.
Yep, leave them alone for 5 minutes, let them enjoy the next end of this song, and then we'll stick them on a train and stick them back to the front line. Woo-hoo.
Actually, I like the way that when the stoic guy I can't remember the character names anymore, so forgive me, but the stoic guy that went out, he broke down before he went out, and I like the way that the guy was basically just say, get up, get out of there, your people are going to be watching this, but he was like, I don't want to die, and then he was like, a whole lot of us are going to die before this war is over, and it's just that little bit of connection that he wasn't very far off his predicament.
It was not a very pleasant little war, that one.
No, one of the worst wars. Hopefully we're not around for
the
third iteration.
End all wars, apparently.
Yeah. Little did they know, 30 years later, 20 years later, they would have been going through it all again. Yeah. Car Film Enjoyer gave it half a star. Boring, they said. There wasn't a single part of it besides the sequence leading up to and during the soldiers being executed that was overall fantastic. I thought that the movie moved way too slow. The action sequences or lack thereof were mind-bogglingly boring and terrible. I thought the action was rather hammy to a degree as well. I will say that Kirk Douglas's character defense in trying to save the lives of those troops about the executed was somewhat entertaining as well. Overall, this is a shitty movie that I regret ever watching. At the most, it would get 1 star, but for now, it will get half a star for the foreseeable future. Thanks for letting us know that. I don't think the acting was hammy at all. I'm a big critique of hammy acting.
Not at all. Not at all. I can't see any hamminess in that. I don't see where he's coming from. Maybe the guys crying when they're about to be executed. I don't know, but that's not hammy. That's. I thought that was fantastically acted, well measured.
Yeah. There's a bunch of 5-star ones. Seth's review says not only one of the greatest anti-war films, but also one of the greatest courtroom dramas. Excels in every single regard. Kubrick made this in his late 20s. His late 20s! Exclamation points. That prick. Is actually, yeah, prick, fucking prick. I don't think a lot of it focuses. There's not a lot of time in the courtroom part of it, really. Like, we do get a good chunk, but it's not really. It doesn't really stay on that for too long. What do you get? Like 10 minutes of it at most? Maybe not even that.
I can't remember now, but it was 10 somewhere between 10 and 20 minutes. It's not the majority of the movie. It is mostly about the difference between the haves and have-nots of war, and how the people at the bottom rung are just used as resources to trade for morale.
Yeah, true. Yeah, there was it gave you a stark sort of portrayal of the guys that can stay in the offices and drink their teas and have posh lunches and just say
a little brandy while we send the lads over. Oh, why not?
You have to storm the hill. Yeah, and so well, all good war movies are anti-war movies. Like, well, he went back to Full Metal Jacket later on, didn't he?
Yeah, that was super anti-war. Great movie, fantastic movie. Better than this even.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, really good. And that spends a lot of time in the boot camp before, and that's even worse.
The Private Piles. That's one of the complete segue, but that's one of the best pieces of acting I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, his breakdown in that movie is just stonking.
Yeah, but it gives then the other character, what is his name, Joker? Yeah, Joker, the photographer guy, right? That's his name, Joker, I believe. Because he was in that, he was trying to make Pyle get him through it and stuff. But anyway, we're segueing, but
super segue. Yeah,
let's watch that.
Such a great movie. It's like 15 hours long, though. So
yeah. You see it. It goes by pretty quickly.
It does.
Our next episode was The Lost Weekend from 1945. We were going really back to the early 40s and 50s.
Oh, this is the one that starts with the bottle of booze dangling out the window.
That's right, yeah. So there's a Metascore of 96 and a user score of 8.1, so it's pretty well liked. You gave it an average of 2.9375, and I gave it an average of 2.4375. So what was our main objections to this movie?
Well, it's not a terrible score.
Average, yeah.
I thought some of the acting I didn't particularly love. What else?
I think it was important for its portrayal of alcoholism. I think it was innovative, and it probably gave the first portrayal, perhaps, first maybe main character portrayal of an alcoholic in Hollywood. And I think they were sort of trying to find their feet about what to do. Obviously, we wouldn't see a character like that acting that way, and it wouldn't be portrayed that way. I think there's a bit more nuance to be had. It was quite black and white. Literally.
Yeah. I think some of the acting, like the wife or the girlfriend, was wooden and unbelievable, and their relationship felt unrealistic. The only character I really liked was it Nurse Bim or Nurse Pim or something like that? Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, you loved them.
Absolutely.
Nat the bartender.
Yeah. So there were elements that were good in it. Like we didn't give it a terrible score. It's just
it's average
compared to what all the previous reviews would have suggested. It should have been a lot more memorable. most of the movie is kind of forgetful in my head.
Yeah, true. It's sort of flat in a way. I think we also had an issue with the music. It was very science fiction-y.
That's right. Just before the next movie that would have really
Be perfect.
been perfect for completely out of place.
Really bad. And as you said, I think when he has the delirium tremens, the DTs with seeing the bat and the mouse, the music suits that, but they didn't use it for that.
No,
because it was sort of spooky and eerie. Yeah, I think it was flat in general. I think it wasn't that enthralling. Obviously it's the Lost Weekend. He is drunk for 90% of the movie or recovering. Yeah. But a little bit more nuance, I think, would prop it up a bit more, and maybe a little bit more dramatic scenes. There really wasn't, apart from the trip to the alcoholic ward and stuff, a little bit of tension with him running away from it.
For 1945, isn't that 1945?
Yeah, 45,
it was
yeah.
Quite an interesting little scene for that time. Aside from that,
yeah,
perhaps if I'd watched it in 1945, I would have thought a lot more of it.
It was successful back then. Jennifer said, not a fun time, sad face. Pro tip, don't watch this on anyone's birthday.
Here, let's have a drink and watch Lost Weekend.
Lost Weekend, everybody. Come on over. It's going to be a fun time.
It's good advice.
Yeah. Let me see. There's some 5-star ones here. Daniel Stabler gave it 5 stars. Billy Wilder, a superb film about addiction and the resulting loss of moral values. Of all the supporting roles, I like Doris, Gloria Dowling the best. She's all you see when she's on screen, a masterpiece. Yeah, remember? No, we said that about Gloria, right?
Gloria was fantastic. Yeah. That's the girl he met in the bar.
Natch,
yes. Yeah. She was brilliant. A lot more of her. Get rid of everybody else apart from Bim. Gloria and Bim, the adventures of...
No, that's what we said. Yeah, like Gloria did steal every scene.
Yeah, and she's not in it enough. Not nearly enough.
Maybe switch the roles. Maybe make the boring girl the person at the bar, and make Gloria his girlfriend, and she'd be a bit more involved and a bit more sort of depth to the character. We only went for about 9 years to the next episode with them! Exclamation mark. Yeah. We had Brooks from Shawshank Redemption playing one of the sergeants, James Whitmore, which was cool. And then Edmund Gwen was Chris Kringle in Miracle on 34th Street. So there was a couple of heavy hitters here. There was
Leonard Nimoy
for a split second. Also, Metascore 74, user score NA, I believe. One of these, it was not... The Lost Weekend was... not on Metacritic or something. I can't remember. There was sort of reviews or something. You gave it an average of 2.8125, and I gave it an average of 2.625. Actually, thought that was more than you did give it. That's interesting. It's kind of getting up there towards good territory, but we had some issues with this movie.
We did. I think I've got different numbers written down, but we'll go with yours. I had down as 3.5, or at least in the spreadsheet here.
Let me see. But go ahead.
Listen, it was it had its moments. I liked the special effects. I liked some of the camera work was quite interesting, especially for the time.
No,
I don't know if
it's an average of 2.8125. If you're looking at the whatever, I don't know what you're looking at, but the average is not the colored column in our spreadsheet.
Sorry, I'm looking at I'm being an asshole. I'm being a doofus. But one thing that I really enjoyed about this movie was trying to spot similarities between this and the movie Aliens, because story-wise, there's massive parallels between that and that. Starting off straight away with the girl Newt, and I can't remember the name of the girl in this movie, but a mute girl running away from a monster. Straight away, same thing. Boom.
She's just called the Allenson girl.
The Allenson girl, yeah, and she doesn't speak for ages, and the Newt girl doesn't speak for ages. Blah, blah, blah. I could go into it, but there's like 10.
It's good though. Our IMDb profile picture of her just in the middle of the screaming them in the movie. It's quite funny. It's quite good profile photo.
Them.
Them.
Yeah, it's a good time. There are, if you cut out half an hour of this movie, it would be a lot better.
The problem was, as I said in the episode, 1/3, first third of the movie, great. 2/3, it's like chasing their tails, looking where the ants are gone. They're big ants.
One
Just
third
look.
out of it.
Yeah.
First bit, and then the end bit where they kill them off. Cool. Just get the bit of where they're trying to do like cop work.
Well, figure out how to stretch the movie without stretching
the budget.
Yeah, exactly. But like, let's say, okay, oh shit, when they invaded that big fire, then the big hive, they said, okay, there's 3 ants missing. Just make it 6, so then you have right until the next one 2, the next one 2, and then the final nest ant.
Instead of hunting down sugar trains.
Yeah, don't interview drunk people and don't interview criminals, and there's one scene where the ant attacks in a boat. Make that one of the action scenes. Make that one of the things. Okay, a big bloody close encounter on the boat.
Instead of getting 7 seconds of a guy on a radio going, "Oh look, ants!"
Right, and then you get pincered. Yeah, we need more action.
In fairness, this movie did teach me about the Wilhelm scream.
I'm so happy.
I'd never heard of it before then. I've since been looking out on every movie I watched to see if it matches.
Once you know it,
you can't remember it.
Absolutely not. You hear it 4 times in this movie. So if you're a fan of the Wilhelm scream, watch this movie. Not actually a lot of half stars here, but 1 half star was from Lara AC. She says, how can a film about giant ants be so excruciatingly boring? Then Mal Tomato says, there isn't enough ants. Fuck this bullshit.
Well, I disagree.
Somebody says, too many men. That. Actually, this reviewer is right, because I think we mentioned this. Ruby's movie says, too many men. So that's right, because the doctor is the only female. The doctor's daughter is the only female character that has anything to do. And yeah, I think we do need a bit more.
I think in similarities to the movie Aliens, though, it kind of balances that out a little bit by having badass Sigourney Weaver, whereas the only female actor or actress in this is kind of weak. She doesn't get much. She does do badass stuff, I suppose, for 1954, but by today's measure.
She also there's no sort of chemistry between her and the characters. There's a little sideways glance in one of the last scenes for her with one of the army guys that's throughout, and he's a very boring character. On. No, he's fine.
He's not the guy who gets chomped. Okay.
No, that's Brooks that got chomped on. This was the other guy that was boring. That's the problem with Brooks and the other guy. Yeah, exactly. They are quite boring, we said. They were quite stale and flat.
They were the same character, just chopped in half and slightly different haircut.
Yeah. Vijay Mahesh gave it 5 stars. He said, so nice to watch campy ass shit like this all tucked up and along with your parents. I'm just so into the stuff like this, so embracing of the fact that it's a fun monster film has all them cheesy trademarks checked out, needed for the most fun time possible. Love this so much. If you like cheesy ass monster movies, you're going to love them.
It's super cheesy. It delivers.
Yeah. Speaking of cheesy, Face Off was next.
Oh, a lot of cheese. The cheese didn't age well, though, for me.
No, very much so. Metacritic 82, user score of 7.6. We did not like Face Off on the rewatch. I gave it 1.6875.
Face Off, fuck off.
Fuck off. You gave it 2.1875, so all below average. I'm bordering on. I gave production 0.75 because I just don't like John Woo's style.
It wasn't good. It was unnecessary. There was a lot of unnecessariness, like slow walking up the beach and doves. Every feckin' where you looked, there was a dove.
John Travolta was cheesy as hell.
Yeah, I'm surprised he went covered in crap. Yeah. Travolta's, I'm going to say something horrible about him, but he's not a good actor.
No. I like him in Pulp Fiction. I thought
that's it, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's upstaged by his co-actor in this, his other face. And exactly. He's not great in this either, if I'm honest. He has a couple of moments. I do like the face-off scene. That
one
is
thing.
gold.
I have to laugh here. Somebody gave it half a star. Joshua Circus gave it half a star. He wrote, "I'm just a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude." Excellent Tropic Thunder
Well
reference.
played, sir. Well played.
That's very
That's
good.
genius.
We have to get some of these people on to guest with us on these recap episodes.
What a line. Yeah, that's bang on.
Yeah. Yeah, so Dusty Mott, and it says that they swap willies too. These people on Letterboxd are quite insane.
It didn't go into that level of detail in the movie, which is kind of annoying.
Well, obviously the wife didn't know.
Yeah, obviously she didn't take a comparison before and after Willie. I don't know, a cast.
Anyway, Andy Levy gave it 5 stars. All he said was, "I want to take his face off."
Fantastic.
Dan Rickard said, "Nicolas Cage and John Travolta switch faces and spend almost 2.5 hours trying to kill each other. This is a 5-star movie." That was one of my issues, though, because they could not shoot each other for shit in the last culminating scenes. They were like 6 feet away from each other, naked guns shooting at each other.
Yeah, behind the bins.
Behind the bins.
No, it's kind of daft. It is very 80s, even though it's not 80s. What year was this?
This is 97.
97. Yeah, it feels very 80s, but it's been, I don't know, like a reheated lasagna from 5 days ago. It doesn't taste right.
True.
There's something wrong. And it's aged very poorly compared to movies such as Robocop from the 80s that have aged immaculately.
Yeah, it's disappointing. I thought it was just going to be like turn your brain off and watch it.
I was expecting Con Air again. That's what I was expecting.
Yeah. And we only gave Con Air not that much more anyway.
Well, it has problems because it's stupid, but it's super enjoyable, even though it's, as a movie, as a piece of art, it's kind of weak.
Yeah. Next episode was the Parallax View from 1974.
Speaking of weak.
Metascore 65%, user score 6.6. Yeah, I gave it 1.5. You gave it 1.375. You hated it.
Did not like this movie.
It's got really bad, horrible production choices where you just see a guy walking up an escalator and you think, "Oh my god, that was slow." And then the other guy walks up the escalator.
My favorite scene in the whole movie is on the little train. And it's not a good scene. It's terrible, but it's still my favorite.
It's like something you would see in Naked Gun. You'd say, "Okay, I know a place that's," and then they're riding a little train. Choo choo.
But they're discussing this super secret stuff beside a family. There's an massive, long, empty train, and they get in beside a family and discuss about people getting killed.
Yeah. It's so bizarre. The actual conspiracy is not strong enough to make it actually interesting. We don't care about it really because it's just like, oh, they hire people to kill people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I tell a lie. The train scene isn't my favorite. The camera shot of the empty courtroom at the end, I thought was nice, and
that's a good scene. Yeah.
Symmetry between the opening and closing scenes. That's it. Everything else is awful in between.
Yeah, they couldn't even blow up the airplane. They had to do it off screen.
Oh, that annoyed me so much.
Camera shake.
Just shake the camera. That'll save us how much money? Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
We spent all the money on hiring Warren Beatty.
True. Crop-a-doodle-doo gave it half a star. I think it might be crop or crap. I think it's crop. Crap-a-doodle-doo would be good. I watched it twice and have no idea what was going on. The director seems too much for the limits of modern-day human concentration to be able to follow the jumps in story between scenes and muttered, inconsequential dialogue.
And the monkey playing Pong.
And yeah, that was just weird. 5 stars from Jordan Horowitz. Haven't seen this in a bit. Forgot just how good it is, and in particular the photography, and in particular the mindfuck test section. Oh yeah, and in particular the absolutely bonkers good final sequence. No man, that's wrong.
Oh, that final sequence is super annoying, where he's hiding underneath the catwalk, and it's just rubbish.
It's terrible because I don't know how
Boring.
people. It's boring because it's just like the escalator scene where you just get shots of people walking along the catwalks up above the convention center. That's it. And then the actual test section, gets shown a very fast PowerPoint for 5 minutes, and it's so boring.
Mother, country,
Yeah,
family.
family, love.
Oh, great. Yeah, wow. Slideshow. Well done.
Yeah. Well, from the bad to the worse, we had AVPR, Aliens versus Predator, Requiem next. That has a Metacritic score of 29 and a user score of 6.7. We gave it
6.7.
I gave it 0.5625 and you gave it 0.5. We hated this movie. Why?
Because it's crap. There's no other way about it. There's no redeeming qualities in it. I can't see anything. Where's the aliens? I don't know. They're eating people, probably. But I can't tell. It's raining and it's dark.
Yeah, they make the entire movie dark and then they go into darker places to make it even worse.
Oh, let's make it rain really heavy now, because just dark isn't enough.
Why did they
And
choose
the aliens are black. So there's black monsters in a black background with rain.
With no contrast in light whatsoever. At some point in they go into the gun shop, they actually find lanterns and it's just a blinding light. It's like, oh my god, what's that? Oh, it's actual normal light.
And then they don't turn them on, really.
They don't really turn them on then, no. Then they go outside into the night and it's dark again.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a redeeming quality to this movie. And I cannot think of one.
It's a very bad take on every character. Like Predator, we should not see them in their spaceship doing their button pressing and stuff at the start.
Working the microwave. Beep, beep,
yeah,
beep.
exactly. We just don't. They're not that type of alien. We don't get to see them, and then
washing his dishes.
Yeah, just random stuff. And then we see their home planet, and it's like it's stupid. Don't. You don't need to discuss. You need to discuss with people what the Predator planet looks like. I'm sure somebody in a graphic novel has shown the Predator home planet. I'm guessing it's a jungle, but this wasn't a jungle.
A couple of years ago, we seen how you make a Predator movie, the movie Prey. You don't go into that detail. You don't need that detail.
No.
He's a monster who hunts people who are...
Yeah, we don't see
fighting.
Background.
That's it. That's all you need.
Yeah.
And just do it well. And Prey does it perfectly.
Yeah.
This abomination is completely pointless. It's just
Alien
a cash grab.
Predator abomination. That's what it should have been called.
Yeah, fits. Or just call it cash grab. Alien versus Predator, cash grab.
Cash grab. Just watch this movie.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I think the guy that directed Prey is releasing quite soon this sort of cartoon series of the Predator fighting like Romans.
Yeah, I've seen that, and
Vikings
I don't know,
and stuff.
I don't know how I feel about it.
I think the trailer just came out recently.
If it's a really good anime, perhaps I could get into it, but I don't know.
Yeah. Nicholas Farron gave this half a star, saying, "Weird that they left the audio on and no picture."
Yes, it is weird.
Maddie said, "The first blockbuster to spend $0 on lighting." Yeah, it's true. Now I just want to see what people say that gave it 5 stars.
Did they? Did someone?
Yes, lots. People like to say this movie sucks, but they obviously haven't seen that this has an alien and a predator in the same movie. This is peak cinema.
That has to be a piss take.
Yeah.
Could have and a predator. Yeah. Even the AVP, the movie before this, was a lot better, and it was awful.
Mm.
And it had an alien and a predator.
Yeah, this is weird. No, it's a waste of a movie. Waste of a movie.
Do not waste your time on this.
Aliens and predators are great characters, and they should not be treated in this horrible fashion.
Yeah, it's just a cash grab. That's all it is. And when you've got excellent IPs like Alien, the Alien franchise has some amazing movies in it, some awful movies in it. And Predator franchise has excellent and awful movies in it. Yeah. Just don't stick them together.
No, that's fine. Let them live their own murderous lives separately. My Left Foot was the next episode, 1989. Metacritic 97, meta user score of 8.2. I gave it an average 3.0625. You gave it an average of 3.5. Biography of Christy Brown.
Yeah.
Irish movie. Jim Sheridan directed. Good movie, obviously.
Close to great, I would say.
I think you obviously by the scores you like it a lot more than me. I had issues with some acting in it. I think it's a little bit too schmaltzy for me in between. Like there's a lot of stereotypical Brenda Fricker looking lovingly at the camera sort of stuff. I think it doesn't really sit with me anymore.
There are a couple of scenes I think we mentioned in the review of it, specifically the bar fight scene that annoyed the crap out of me. But aside from a few minutes of it and the ending, where they're cracking open a bottle of champagne, looking over looking over Dublin, it's stupid. But those scenes aren't very long, thankfully.
No. A lot of the half stars bring up the whole point about, well, Daniel Day-Lewis doesn't have cerebral palsy. Why is he playing somebody with cerebral palsy? There's a lot of ableism, vulgar displays of ableism I see written here.
Not something I'd even considered during the review, to be honest.
I kind of thought about it when the kid was acting, But you also have Daniel Craig playing a gay guy in a recent movie as well. That was quite famous. Like
Glass Onion.
No, 2020. No, recently I think it was even awarded Oscar nominated or something. And
he plays a gay guy in Glass Onion.
Oh, does he? So they therefore said, yeah, he can play gay, so get him for this movie too. But why aren't they hiring a gay guy for a main character that's gay?
I'm going to quote George Takei on this because he was asked about this when in the new Star Trek movies when Zulu was played by a straight man, but he was a gay character in the movie, and Takei says, "Yeah, well, I played a straight man in the original Star Wars or Star Trek movie, so shut up."
Yeah.
It's acting.
Yeah.
So I can see how some people might say it's not fair on people with these disabilities who don't get the chance of acting because people like Daniel Day-Lewis take the role. I can get that, but I also...
The fact of the matter is Daniel Day-Lewis probably will do a better job acting as a
than any
person with
actor
cerebral
on this
palsy
planet.
than actually a person with cerebral palsy. I don't know.
Because he's the best actor on the planet. Like, it doesn't matter what he does, he's going to do it better than anybody else.
Yeah. One reviewer says Sheridan's presentation is absolutely dreadful. The film is a succession of bad cliches, and Brown himself isn't the most pleasant person to hang with. We did mention that in the review. Like,
but that's not what the movie's trying to do. Like, it doesn't sugarcoat the fact that he is an asshole.
Yeah, and he has issues. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, a couple of 5-star ones. A heartbreaking work that impressively tells an unbelievable story with no sensationalism. Yeah, there isn't any sensationalism. It's kind of a gritty biography, to be honest with you. It shows him in a sort of a punchy sort of light.
Not a great light at times, yeah. Sometimes there is a beautiful warmth between the characters and the family. And then a lot of the time he's just been an asshole.
Yeah. I don't need a fucking psychology lesson. I just need a fucking light. That's one of his lines.
That's an excuse to have a sup of his drink.
Yeah. He did sort of... If he didn't have cerebral palsy and he wasn't, physically different, then we would say, yeah, it's a typical Irish dude. I mean, maybe his character was guided by his artisticness, not his cerebral palsy. Like a lot of artistic people are ass hats and don't know how to interact with ladies or anybody really. He also has mummy issues as well. Like he was protected
massively, but I think that one comes out of his condition because she spent so much time looking after him.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we wrapped up episode 109 with The Wrong Man, 1957, Alfred Hitchcock, Metascore 81, Metascore 7.4. I gave it an average of 2.75. You gave it a bit more, 2.9375. I think we were both just underwhelmed by a Hitchcock movie.
Disappointed. absolutely
Yeah.
disappointed. I love some of Hitchcock's stuff, and this doesn't hit the way I expect it to. And I'm thinking that score is probably a little bit too high now. I'm looking at it.
Looks like it, yeah.
But it's not a terrible movie at all. It's just not good or great or anything like that. It's okay.
I think Hitchcock spoils us really when we look back. When we know his movies, Psycho, Rear Window, whatever, Birds. We expect greatness from him, and then when you go back to one of his early movies, and it's based on a true story, that's I think where it falls short, because it is based on a true story. He didn't have the capacity to go innovative with any of the twists. There is no twists in this movie. He is the wrong man. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, the twist is given away in the title of the movie.
Yeah, but you're like going, okay, maybe he has a fucking evil twin, and we have to talk to the mum now about it, and the mum brings this drama into it.
It's just mistaken identity.
Some guy that gave it half a star, his name is SV12334, he says, didn't even look like the actual criminal.
We did mention that.
We did mention him.
He's roughly the same height and he was wearing the same clothes. There you
go. Why not? As Hitchcock, why didn't he think, just get him to play the other guy too? And then with camera trickery when they meet in the corridor, it's easily done.
I don't even think they were ever in the same shot.
Yeah, they actually don't even put them together, I don't think. There might be an over the shoulder. God damn you, I'm better than you.
No.
Yeah. This guy's not happy, Fabian. He says, it's not just the worst Hitchcock I've seen, it's one of the worst films I've seen. Supposedly a docudrama, it chooses veracity over anything interesting happening. It is relentlessly boring, color by numbers, mistaken identity movie, and I could not have less sympathy for the lead's white man struggle, not the complete disregard for the audience. Watched in cinema. So incredibly dull, somebody else says. Cops suck. Everyone knows it. And yet this guy did not stick up for himself. He helped them get evidence against him. It's hard to feel sympathy for him. It's another take on it, which I don't really give a shit for, but it's like, movie sucks because he didn't stand up for himself and the cops suck.
But, it's kind of true. Well, it's a true story. That's what happened.
True.
I don't know what way to put it other than that. Yeah, like obviously that shit shouldn't happen to people, and the cops shouldn't do that to people. But he could have advocated for himself a little bit.
Yeah. Somebody gave it 5 stars. It's such a miserable movie. It's this weird way to start off a 5-star review. I wrote this whole thing about how inherently hateful the criminal justice system is. Each of those words is loaded with contempt for mankind. Let him go, LOL. Weird.
Right.
A tragic masterpiece, somebody else says. And that's about it.
Yep. Not a masterpiece. At times reasonable, but mostly boring movie.
True that. And
some interesting shots in it. Hitchcock tries, but you can only do so much.
True, there is some good shots. The cracked mirror scene when she wallops them over the head with the hairbrush. Yeah. Her arc is not the best either, although that is the real life. And she didn't walk out 10 months later either. She didn't. Yeah, she did. Reality is not as good as Hollywood.
Yeah, the reality is even more miserable than the movie.
True. Yeah. All right, that was our little recap of our 9 movies, our first 9 in the new century of episodes. Let's roll the dice to continue on our escapade and go for episode 111. And we are getting movie number 2690. And it is another movie with a colon in it.
Love that colon.
Yeah, it's called Twilight of the Warriors, Walled In. It is from 2024. It's set in Hong Kong. It's many years after the bloody turf war that ushered in an uneasy era of peace in Hong Kong's underworld. The notorious Kowloon walled city serves as a fortified, lawless safe haven for gangs and refugees alike. But when a skilled underground fighter runs afoul of the most feared triad boss in Hong Kong, a bounty is placed on his head despite the connections to the leader of infamous Enclave. It goes on a bit further, but that's about it. It's going to be one of those Hong Kong sort of fighting movies, I guess. It's from 2024.
2024, though. We haven't seen a Hong Kong fighting movie recently.
No. Metascore of 77, user score of 6.9. This hasn't come across my radar over the last couple of years. But
I went through a phase in my life where I watched all the Japanese fighting movies, or not Japanese, Jesus, Hong Kong. Yeah. Yeah, never heard of this. Could
Yeah,
be
it's cool.
interesting.
Yeah, it might be interesting. A nice, turn your brain off, and it's sort of
Some guy punching some guy.
yeah, in Hong Kong, and I lived in Hong Kong for 3 years, so it'll be good to see the old stomping ground.
This movie's based on you, right?
Yes, I was a triad leader. I was known as the white idiot.
The white cabbage.
Yeah. I can't say that I traveled around Kowloon that much, though, because it is the Kowloon Walled City was an amazing architectural sort of square block of Hong Kong that was just crammed full of humanity, and yeah, it
Sounds like fun.
had a bad rep. But yeah, cool. All right, so that'll be a little venture into Hong Kong cinema for us. It'll be something new.
Cool.
Yeah. Please rate us on the platform you listen to us on and share it with your friends. And we'll see you in episode 111 for Twilight of the Warriors: Walled In. Cheerio.
Bye-bye.